चक्षूणां रूपमन्नस्य महिश्रीः सृजता यशः कर्दमेन प्रजा भूता मयि संभव कर्दमा श्रियं वासय मे कुले मातरं पद्ममालिनीम् अयं मुहूर्तः शुभमुहूर्तो अस्तु सुमुहूर्तकाले सूर्यादीनां नवानां ग्रहाणाम् अत्यन्त आनुकूल्यता फलसिद्धिरस्तु। गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री सद्गुरवे नमो नमः। मानसं वाचिकं पापं कर्मणा समुपार्जितं श्रीराम स्मरणेनैव व्यपोहति न संशयः। विशेषतः तिथिर्विष्णु तथा वारो नक्षत्रं विष्णुरेव च योगश्च करणं चैव सर्वं विष्णुमयं शिवमयं जगत् वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ अविघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। गणपति आराधन पूजां करिष्ये। शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्न उपशान्तये। ओं भूः प्राणानायम्य अमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवस्सुवरो ममोपात्त समस्त दुरित क्षयद्वारा श्री पार्वती परमेश्वर प्रीत्यर्थं पद्मावती गोदा समेत प्रसन्न वेंकटेश्वर स्वामिनः संपूर्ण अनुग्रह सिद्ध्यर्थं मम इष्टदेवता कुलदेवता ग्रामदेवता पारंपर्य देवता संपूर्ण अनुग्रह सिद्ध्यर्थं गोत्रोद्भवस्य आर्द्रा नक्षत्रे मिथुन राशि अश्विनी नक्षत्रे मेषराशि जातायाः अश्विनी नाम्याः पूर्वभाद्रपदा नक्षत्रे जातायाः ज्येष्ठपुत्रस्य श्रीनिवास नामान्तस्य नरसु नक्षत्रे जातस्य ध्रुव नामान्तस्य अश्विनी नक्षत्रे जातस्य मम सह कुटुंबानां क्षेम स्थैर्य धैर्य वीर्य विजय शौर्य आयुः आरोग्य ऐश्वर्याणाम् अभिवृद्धि सिद्ध्यर्थं धनकनक वस्तुवाहन धेनुकाञ्चन पुत्रपौत्र लक्ष्मीकटाक्ष सिद्ध्यर्थं मम मनसा ईप्सित सकलकार्येषु दिग्विजयता आनुकूल्यता फल सिद्ध्यर्थं वेदोक्त शत आयुः अभिवृद्धि सिद्ध्यर्थं सरस्वती अनुग्रहेण सकल मेधाविलास सिद्ध्यर्थं सकल संगीत ज्ञान प्राप्तिकर सिद्ध्यर्थं अभिवृद्ध्यता कर सिद्ध्यर्थं विशेषतः बाहुलीन विशेषतः मम आस्टिन हिंदू आलय विशेषतः उत्तर भागे सभायां विशेष बाहुलीन संगीत महोत्सवेन महामंगल वैभव कर्मणि सकल विघ्नदोष निवारणार्थं गणपतिं प्रार्थयामि। अयं मुहूर्तः शुभमुहूर्तो अस्तु। अष्टौ ब्राह्मणान् सम्यग्राहयित्वा सूर्यवर्चस्वी भवति सूर्यग्रहे महानद्यां प्रतिमासन्निधौ वा जप्त्वा ससिद्धमन्त्रो भवति महाविघ्नात् प्रमुच्यते महादोषात् प्रमुच्यते महापापात् प्रमुच्यते महाप्रत्यवायात् प्रमुच्यते ससर्वविद् भवति ससर्वविद् भवति ययेवं वेद। ओम लक्ष्मीनारायणाभ्यां नमः, ओम उमामहेश्वराभ्यां नमः, ओम वाणीहिरण्यगर्भाभ्यां नमः, ओम सीतारामाभ्यां नमः, ओम शचीपुरन्दराभ्यां नमः, ओम अरुन्धती वसिष्ठाभ्यां नमः, ओम दुर्गायै नमः, ओम गणपतये नमः, ओम क्षेत्रपालाय नमः, ओम वास्तुपुरुषाय नमः, ओम मातृभ्यो नमः, ओम पितृभ्यो नमः, ओम गुरुभ्यो नमः, ओम आचार्येभ्यो नमः, ओम इष्टदेवताभ्यो नमः, ओम कुलदेवताभ्यो नमः, ग्रामादिदेवताभ्यो नमः, सर्वेभ्यो देवेभ्यो नमः, सर्वाभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः, सर्वेभ्यो ब्राह्मणेभ्यो नमो नमः। सुनो विशेषतः पूर्वोक्त संकल्पित प्रकारेण अनुष्ठीयमान सकल देवता संपूर्ण अनुग्रह सिद्ध्यर्थम विशेषतः सारंगी महोत्सव प्रारंभ समये सकल विघ्न दोष निवारण सिद्ध्यर्थम अनेक कोटि प्रार्थन प्रदक्षिण नमस्कार पुष्पांजलिं समर्पयामि। यानि कानि च पापानि जन्मान्तरकृतानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणं पदे पदे। हर हर नमः पार्वतीपतये हर हर महादेव। एलुगुंडलवाड वेंकटरमण गोविंद गोविंद। श्रीर्वर्चस्वमायुष्यमारोग्यमाभिधाक्षोभमानं महीयते धान्यं धनं पशुं बहुपुत्रलाभं शतसंवत्सरं दीर्घमायुः क्षेमारोग्यता बलसिद्धिरस्तु सर्वाभीष्टबलसिद्धिरस्तु।
Yeah, check and tell. That is why. Namaskaram, everybody. Just give us probably just couple more minutes. Our chief guest just came. Just want him to settle before I come and take the mic. Just give us couple more minutes. My humble namaskarams to one and all present here. Good evening. On behalf of Dhruv and his family, I am truly delighted to welcome you all to this special occasion, Dhruv's Carnatic Violin Arangetram. This evening marks an important milestone in Dhruv's musical journey. After years of discipline, dedication, and devotion to the art, he ascends the stage for his debut solo performance, which is a rite of passage in the world of Indian classical music known as Arangetram. For me, personally, this is a moment of personal joy. I had the privilege of being the MC for Dhruv's brother, Srini's Arangetram, and it is truly heartwarming to now witness Dhruv take the stage in the same spirit of excellence and devotion. Thank you all for being here today to celebrate this joyous, culturally rich, and truly precious occasion with his family. Before we begin, a few gentle reminders to ensure everyone enjoys the performance to the fullest. So kindly take a moment to silence your mobile phones, any electronic devices. You might have thought that, hey, I've silenced it already, but just do a quick check right now. So we have complete silence here. Please fill the seats as you come in, so we avoid leaving any empty seats in between. Make sure your children are seated quietly next to you. In case you need to step out, please exit the hall between songs, so it will not be distracting to our artists who are here on stage. Restrooms are on the left behind the cafeteria. Just letting you all know that there are some renovations that are happening in the restroom, so they have a portable restroom. So you go outside the cafeteria, turn towards the right, you will have it. Thank you all for your cooperation. Now, before we bring the artist on stage, let's take a moment to appreciate the Indian Carnatic violin, a unique instrument that has traveled across geographies and generations. Though the violin has Western origins, it was beautifully adapted into the Carnatic tradition in the 19th century by the great masters like Balaswami Dikshidhar, brother of composer Muthuswami Dikshidhar. In the hands of a skilled performer, the Carnatic violin becomes not just an instrument, but a voice evoking joy, devotion, and bhakti. This evening, Dhruv is blessed to be accompanied by two stellar artists. I'll provide a brief introduction about them, but I encourage you all to read the brochure for detailed information about these talented artists. They have achieved so much and deserve to be recognized. I hope you all have taken the brochure outside. I have actually compiled it into a smaller version just for time, so please make sure to read it. So now let's begin. On the Ghatam, we have Vidwan R. Ravi Balasubramaniam. He is a renowned Ghatam artist in North America, celebrated for his energetic and sensitive performances. With over 1,000 concerts, Sri Ravi has extensive experience in Carnatic percussion, including performing the Ghatam at top musical institutions such as the Chennai Music Academy and the Cleveland Aradhana for nearly 20 years. He received the titles Yuvakala Bharati in 2003 and the Neelakanta Shivan Parani Krishnar Iyer Award in 2019 for his excellence in Ghatam. Sri Ravi expanded the use of Ghatam in music by presenting special Ghata Tarang concerts featuring 7 Ghatams as the lead instruments. He has performed with leading artists worldwide, including India, US, Canada, Singapore, Malaysia, and Australia. He initially trained under Palakkad Sri P.K. Shekhar and Sangeeta Kalanidhi Dr. T.K. Murthy, later advancing his studies with Sri V. Suresh in Chennai. As a guru, he guides the students in Indian percussion theory and performance. Additionally, Vidwan Ravi holds a doctorate in robotics from Carnegie Mellon University and is a tenured professor at Oregon State University. Please welcome once again Vidwan Dr. Ravi Balasubramaniam. On the Mridangam, we have Vidwan R. Shankaranarayanan. He hails from a musical lineage of Padma Bhushan Brahmashri Papanasam Sivan. Actually, I got his updated bio right now, so let me come to the current updated one. Vidwan Shankara Narayanan, a renowned Mridangam artist, hails from a distinguished Carnatic music lineage. He is a descendant of Padma Bhushan Brahmashri Papanasam Sivan and the son of Sangeeta Kalanidhi Papanasam Sri Ramani Bhagavatar. Trained by eminent gurus including Nada Brahmam Sri Mushnam Sri V. Raja Rao, he began performing professionally at age 9 and started his abroad travel from age 11. Known for his exquisite tonal clarity, intricate rhythms, and seamless blend of tradition and innovation, Vidwan Shankara Narayanan is a sought-after Mridangam artist in both Carnatic and fusion music. His accolades include the Ustad Bismillah Khan Yuva Puraskar from Sangeeta Natak Academy, Mridanganada Mani Asthana Vidwan from Sri Kanchi Kamakoti Peetam, and the Yuvakala Bharati from Bharat Kalachar. He holds a A grade from All India Radio Chennai. A globally recognized performer, he has played at the Broadway Theatre, Carnegie Hall of New York, BBC Studio, and Queen Elizabeth Hall of London, Opera House in Sydney, Theatre de la Well of Paris, Esplanade in Singapore. He has accompanied legends like Dr. M. Balamurali Krishna, flute maestro Dr. N. Ramani, Sri T. N. Seshagopalan, Sri T. V. Shankaranarayanan, Sri T. K. Govindarao, Bombay Sisters, etc., and collaborates with Hindustani and jazz musicians. As a founder director of Nadalayam Arts and Music, which is in Toronto, and trustee of Sri Radha Krishna Sankirtana Samajan in Chennai, he nurtures young talent. His research on Tirupugal rhythms and Sanskrit literature contributes to Mridangam's legacy. He holds a research paper from University of Madras with the dissertation topic as Depiction of Mridangam in Sanskrit Literature. Through his performances, teaching and scholarship, Vidwan Shankara Narayanan preserves and innovates the Mridangam tradition for the future generations. Once again, a big round of applause to our Vidwan Shankara Narayanan. On the tambura, we have Avyuk Balaji. Avyuk is an incoming 7th grader in Cedar Valley Middle School. He has been learning Carnatic music for the past 4 years under the tutelage of Vidushi Srimati Rajeshwari Bhatt and Vidushi Srimati Kriti Bhatt, whom are both here today. He is also learning Carnatic mandolin under the guidance of Vidwan U. P. Raju and Vidushi Nagamani Raju. He is also well versed in Western classical piano. He has earned several awards for his performances. Recently, he was a part of Papanasam Ashok Ramani's Muruga Muruga and CFA's Sustaining Sampradaya program, where he had an opportunity to sing and learn with Dhruv. Welcome on stage, Avyuk. Let me tone down this introduction. Let's bring Srini over on stage. He will be putting the thalam today. And now, the moment we all have been waiting for. Please join me in giving a warm round of applause as we invite the star of the evening, Dhruv, to take the stage. Dhruv Vadhiraj began his Carnatic vocal journey at age 4 under Mrs. Charmati Iyer in Australia, whose bhajan-rich training sparked his love for lyrical devotional music. Since 2019, he has been learning Carnatic vocal from Vidushi Srimati Rajeshwari Bhatt and Carnatic violin from Vidwan Sri Vittal Ramamurthy. Both the gurus are right here today. It's such a big blessing. Please give a big round of applause for both our gurus here. Vittal Sir's training, filled with love and encouragement, has made violin his favorite instrument. He has always looked forward with utmost interest to Vittal Sir's camps every year in Dallas. Attending Cleveland Tyagaraja Aradhana for the first time in 2024 inspired Dhruv to further advance his knowledge on Carnatic music. He also learns flute from Sri J.A. Jayant since 2021, Kanjira from Sri Skanda since 2023, and has recently started learning from Sri Abhilash Giriprasad. He continues to receive valuable guidance from Sri K. N. Sashikiran, our chief guest today, who is right here in the front seat. One more round of applause, please. In 2024 and 2025, he won the third prize in Carnatic music, in Carnatic violin, and the first prize in flute, respectively, at the Cleveland Tyagaraja Aradhana Festival. Grateful for Austin's rich musical community, he has actively participated in events by our local India Fine Arts. We have the honor of having Mr. Nagarajan right here in front of us, who's been encouraging all these artists. Mama, if you could please stand up just for a minute. A round of applause for Mama, please. Antarnada, Sur Darbar, Austin Tamil Sangam, Austin Kannada Sangha, Desh, and the Texas Federation of Music Clubs. Dhruv's Western classical journey began with the piano at age 4 and later expanded to harp and violin, earning performances, diplomas, and completing ABRSM Grade 8 in all three. He performs regularly and has been the member of his school orchestra and the Central Texas Philharmonic Youth Orchestra as a harpist. He has performed in numerous recitals and competitions over the years and greatly enjoys staying connected with these instruments. An incoming freshman at McNeil High School, Dhruv is passionate about math, computer science, and their connection to music. Inspired by his brother, Srini, who is right now on stage, he aspires to become a computer engineer and musician, continuing his pursuit of both academic and musical excellence. So, while reading Dhruv's bio, I was reminded of Srini during your Arangetram, your bio as well. Both of you are amazing achievers. Your parents, family must be very proud of you both. Okay. Now we are going to witness the culmination of years of sadhana, practice and inner growth. Sit back, relax and let the magic of melody and rhythm unfold. Dhruv, the stage is all yours.
So the Pallavi I'm doing is called Sendil Nagad Mebum Kanda Vadi Velane, and it's set to Kiravani. So yeah, and it's in Kanda Jati Tripadatalam. So, yeah. Sendil nagar mevum kanda vadivelane shanmugane guhane sendil nagar mevum kanda vadivelane shanmugane guhane sendil nagar
Oh my God, what a, my heart is still pulsing. What a remarkable RTP presentation we all just witnessed. The precision, the emotive expression displayed in the RTP just reflects not just the talent, but years of dedicated practice and deep understanding of the art form. All kudos goes to the guru who has trained him like this. Vital sir. Okay, on a little selfish note, some of you all might know my husband is a mridangist and daughter is a mridangist. So, couple of pieces back, the Tanya Vardhanam was just rhythmic fireworks. The mridangam and the ghatam artist had an incredible chemistry. They trading complex rhythms with just ease and energy, which built up to an exciting high energy finish. All of us were hooked onto it. Give them a thunderous round of applause, please. Okay, we have Carnatic experts in the audience and they will speak more after this. So with a heart full of admiration and joy, I would like to first invite, we have a bunch of esteemed guests in our audience. So I would like to first call on stage Mr. Nagarajan of India Fine Arts, who needs no introduction to our Austin music community. Mama, if you could please join us. Mama? It's fine. It's all
right. Good evening to everybody here. I was not expected to speak, but still I wrote down something so that I can share that with you. First of all, I have to thank Mr. and Mrs. Vadhiraj for kindly inviting me to be part of this pleasant evening. I also am pleased to thank my good friend Vittal Ramurthy, whom I know from 1995 onwards. And kudos to you, as she said. You have trained a sophomore student so well, amazingly well. Okay, so. Nowadays, if I come to Austin Arangetram, it has become a Vittal family show. It is Vittal Ramurthy, Rajesh Bhatt, Kriti Bhatt, a sister. It's all the old stage is pleased with the students. Let's give our Vittal Rangan. So we thank the Vittal family for enriching Austin climate. Thank you. Dhruv, whenever I come here, I always do some research into the background of the artist. We all know, in the Hindu mythology says, Dhruva was a young prince who was devoted to Narayana. Narayana wanted to give him a permanent place, so he created a pole star, or Dhruva Nakshatra. Now the reason I tell you why, because if you look at the pole star, the beauty of the pole star is it doesn't move, it doesn't blink, it stays the same place, showing that dedication, devotion, and application. That's all you had, like the pole star, your dedication, devotion, everything. Sitting there in the audience, I was wondering how can I describe this concert. She said it's electrifying. But then I remembered in 1976 when I arranged Violin Arangetram and T.N. Krishnan told me, if you want to pay a compliment to the violin artist, don't say he played well, he played good and all that. Say Vadyam Pesar Chulu. And that's what you did today. Your Vadyam Pesar. So, going to the Pythagorean numerology, you have a number 3, which suggests creativity, expressionism, and dedication to the art. And I'm sure that I got a lot of bright future with a guru like Vittal Ramamurthy. Once again, hands to Vittal Ramamurthy, please. Also, Arangetram means in Tamil, Arangu means Medai, Yetram means climbing. Arangetram means you are now on the stage, your teacher, your parents have decided you have reached a maturity and they are graduating you today to be an artist. So this is a milestone event in your career. I want you to remember today on the artist by giving you a memento, which is a mahogany clock, special clock, which engraved today's concert for you. Please keep it on your desk when you go to the college or high school and look at it and remember the pleasant evening you had today. Sometimes in just giving you a box, I can open up and say what the box is, so the audience can see what it says. அதெல்லாம் நீ எடுத்துன்னு போன அப்புறம் can see, all of you can see that. The inscription says, "Congratulations Dhruv Vadhiraj on his successful completion of the Violin Arangetram on Sunday, April 3rd at the Austin Hindu Temple, given India Fine Arts in Austin." This clock is always still running. With that, I finish my note so that some other chief guest can come and speak today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mama. Next, I would like to call Dr. Venkatachalam, whom we affectionately call Venkatachalam Mama, on stage to speak a few words. You know, I asked him his bio, and what Mama said was this: "You're asking me a bio?" He said, "I don't have anything like that." He said, so he went for a science conference, and they first asked him, "Give us your bio," and then Mama looked, and there were other people who said that, "Oh, we know about him, we want to talk." So that says a lot of words about Mama. Mama, if you could take the stage.
Thank you. Namaskaram. Vittal Ramamurthy sir, Rajarajeshwari, Kirti Vittal Rangan, Sashikaran sir, Nagarajan spoke beautifully, actually covered everything that has been done. Even the MC did very well. They have complemented various aspects of this. So I'll try to keep my comments brief. 95 years ago, a big Mahan was born. That changed the stage of Carnatic music forever. September 17th in 1930. And it was his composition with which you started today's concert. The Padavarnam in Charikesi itself tested you. Let me tell you that if you just played that alone, you have won the Arangetram. Because that Lalgudi Mama's method of weaving a confluence of melody, layam and sahityam, because it's a padavarna, sahityam, very beautifully done. It's unbelievable how the violin presents this. It is true that MC mentioned about the violin. It's amazing that this is in the 18th, 19th century that this has been brought and adapted. During that time, we always think that Vagyakaras are very traditional, very conservative. Such conservative people, usually highly religious people are considered conservative. It's just a feeling that you have. Such conservative people, Balaswami Dikshita, Vadivelu, they didn't have even the right clothes to enter a church. I don't think they had money to buy a violin. That violin has now become very supreme. And we are extremely lucky that Lalgudi Mama's violin has been brought today to the stage by Uttal Ramurthy sir. Congratulations. And all other selections show how violin has been used very much. His brisk Kalpanaswaram's Avanijadipa, calling out Rama as a lord of Sita, was done with a beautiful conversation with both Mridangam and Ghatam on that Avanijadipa was done in Raghunayaka. It was just absolutely wonderful. Not only that, your ability to handle upper and lower mandrastayi, tarastayi in the violin is just absolutely beautiful. I could see in Riti Gaula you were able to go to the mandrastayi extremely well. And the sahityam of Janini Ninuvina need to be brought out in a violin. It is not a mute instrument. You brought out the words so beautifully. Those who know the words could see that you understand the lyrics of it. Even in Padavarnam, it came out very well. And what do we say for this turbulent Sobilu Saptaswara? Of course, we all know the Chittaswaram. The Chittaswaram was made by a very big Vainika. Karakudi Samshivar made this Chittaswaram. See how well that has been adapted now to violin. Is something that is absolutely remarkable. Ranganayaki Rajagopalan came to our house and she described how Karakudi Samshivar set that Chittaswaram. And the slides on the veena is seen in a very different way. But it has been adapted to violin very beautifully. Okay, you did that extremely well. And your Kalyani Alapana started in a Chauka Kalam, slow. Tyagaraja's searching where Rama is throughout. Are you here? Are you there? And so on. And that Nirmal and Sita Gauri was just beautiful. Again, had a Swara conversation with Mridangam and Ghatam. Usually in a vocal concert, there will be a conversation between the vocalist and probably the violinist. That takes up a little time, right? Here, all he has is just one violin. And so he has done an extremely beautiful presentation. Of course, the Tanya Vartanam shows the magnanimity of these seasoned artists to accompany a youngster I want to really congratulate that. Okay, RTP tests, Ragantanam Pallavi is something that only Pallavi Vidwans usually did this. Okay, now more and more people have become aware of this, and this is one thing that you usually look for. Of course, all of us clap when the Tirmanam comes at the very end, right? When in Swaram structures, in the chorway is where you are clapping. I think we should look at how we did the middle part of the Swarams. This is what I was taken up by. Okay, so there is a set of Sarvalagu Swarams that he says. He's strictly working with the accompaniments on that. And then there is a larger set of Swaram, which is going to, of course, end in a chorway. But what does he do in the middle part? It's a beautiful thing. My Manasika Guru Vishwa used to say, just do the middle part, go on doing it, let me know where all you go. He had a beautiful way of doing this in Kalyani. The middle part was elaborate, and he was enjoying. Clearly, Tyagaraja is searching for where Rama is. Like that, he's going around and doing that. You don't have an opportunity to clap there. But it should never be forgotten. It was done extremely beautifully today. I congratulate you. I think this is wonderful Arangetram. Was it perfect? That's not a question I want to ask. This is a beautiful presentation. What happened is just between him and his guru. The guru and him will have now a conversation at the end, is to say what went right and why he smiled at you and all that. And the accompaniment also might say, in fact, they anticipated your next move, I think, in one place. Shankaranandan started it for you. Oh, that's what you are doing. Okay, you replied him. All that shows how beautifully they have worked together in this arrangement. I'm so very happy this is happening. Congratulations for everyone, and to Vadhiraj family. Absolutely. Thank you.
So now you all know why I said the word. Now after this, experts will talk on stage. This is why. Thanks so much, Mama. Music runs deep in a family. So what's more joyful than a shared stage among siblings? Till now, what you all saw was Srini was putting the thalam. You know, for just a regular audience who don't know what's coming up next, they are like, oh, okay, Konnakol teacher is right next. So that's why he's putting the thalam probably. No, his Arangetram was over in August 3rd last year, 2024. He is joining his brother on stage right now for a performance. So I will go really fast and brief on his bio because some of you all would have missed his Arangetram last year. So let me concise it. Srini began his Carnatic vocal training at age 6 right here at the Austin Hindu Temple, later studying with Srimati Charumati Iyer in Australia. In 2018, he started learning from Srimati Rajeshwari Bhatt, and in 2023 from Sri Abhilash Giri Prasad. He has also been learning compositions from our chief guest here today, Vidwan K.N. Shashikiran sir. In 2013, he began learning Carnatic violin with Sri Anandanada Yogi, with Srimati Padma Krishnan as well. He then continued to learn from Vidwan Sri Vittal Ramamurthy sir here since 2019. His rhythmic training includes Konnakol with Dr. Ravi Balasubramaniam. So now you all know why he kept putting the talam, why the guru kept looking at him. In Western classical music, Srini plays piano, harp, violin, and has completed ABRSM grade 8 exams and holds performance diploma in all 3 instruments. He has performed in numerous recitals and competitions. Srini has also performed in multiple local organizations. He is a sophomore in UT Austin pursuing computer science, and he is an intern in the company I work as well. So now he is my colleague at Dun & Bradstreet. So he has his Arangetram in August 3rd, 2024. Now, with hearts full, yours are ego, let's return to music. Please enjoy the brothers performing today in this beautiful concert. What a fantastic finish today. Absolutely an enchanting way to end our weekend. Now, all of you please be seated because we are deeply honored to have a very special guest with us this evening, a highly respected figure in the world of Carnatic music, Vidwan Shri Shashi Kiran sir. I will briefly read his bio as you walk in, sir. Carnatic vocalist Vidwan K. N. Shashi Kiran hails from a family of renowned musicians. He is the son of the accomplished Vidwan Chitraveena Narasimhan and the grandson of the legendary Vidwan Gotvadyam Narayana Iyengar. He emerged a child prodigy with a talent for identifying ragas, demonstrating complicated talas and answering technical questions put to him. He underwent musical training under the tutelage of stalwarts like Vidushi T. Brinda, Vidwan T. Vishwanathan, and Vidwan Calcutta K. S. Krishnamurti. With an exemplary academic record, he is a keen writer and contributes articles and reviews to newspapers and websites. He established Karnataka, a center for the complete education of Carnatic music, and runs it with Carnatic vocalist Vidushi S. Soumya. Sir, I have to complete. You have done so many achievements. Please, okay, I'll go fast, everybody. In 1990, the best Pallavi singer for his concert at the Rasika Ranjini Sabha. In 1997, he received an award for being the best exponent of any raga from the Music Academy. He received the award for the Carnatic Music Association of North America in 1998 for being the best vocalist, and finally, the Bharat Nirman Excellence Award in 1999 for the meritorious accomplishments in diverse fields of activity that have immensely contributed to the nation's progress. He is the youngest person and the first musician in India to receive this honor. He was a recipient of the Ford Foundation Scholarship on the Veena Dhanamal Bhani in 1990. We are grateful for your presence here today, and everybody should know your background, sir, so I had to read it out. Welcome our chief guest.
Thank you so much for that, Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Luckily, it was the background, because the foreground there, we have wonderful team on stage. Give a very big round of applause to Dhruv Vadhiraj, the hero and the star for today. First of all, before I talk about him, I want to say a couple of words about the very dedicated father and mother. I have known this family for quite a few years, and all I can say is their immense bhakti towards our music, our culture, and the way they have nurtured these two boys. Their dream, their entire efforts of why their purpose of life itself is for the growth of these two. Such wonderful parents are the reason for these two wonderful boys, Dhruv Vadhiraj and Srini Vadhiraj. I was there for Srini's Arangetram also, so I'm mentioning that. Dhruv, today you rocked. First of all, speaking after Nagarajan Mama, who is a veteran here, he has introduced so many of us to North America, giving us the opportunities, and he is nurturing so many talents here, and along with Janaki Mami, they have been doing yeoman service in this area. And not only here, wherever they were in North America, they have done a lot. And to perform in front of him and the couple is a wonderful blessing for you. Venkatachalam Mama is absolutely the most passionate living Carnatic Rasika Guru. What you can say about him will be an understatement. He needs nothing more. He's just a total Carnatic addict. So he's Carnaticized in every single word. So he's dreaming, living, breathing music. So such a wonderful Rasika, a wonderful Guru who shares anything and everything, and very analytical, and how beautifully he summarized your performance. So speaking after them is a challenge. But I need to say a few things, not only about you, but before I talk more about you, about your wonderful Guru, the ever-giving Guru, Vidwan or Mahavidwan Vittal Ramurthy ji. Vidwan Vittal Ramurthy ji is simply a wonderful musician par excellence. What to give, how to make. I have heard Dhruv play violin 1 year back. What a transformation. What magic he has done in 1 year. If he teaches me, I will learn something to pass on to my students. Such a remarkable effort. They were learning vocal music also for many years. That what is very inspiring about this style, Lalgudi Mamas, we all know what a legend he is. And Vittal Ramurthy ji has passing on that Bani to all his disciples so faithfully. His Guru Bhakti is seen in the way he coaches his students. Absolute Guru Bhakti. There is, the faith is the key to learning this art form. You go to a doctor, just the visit is not helping you. Not even the medicines. Just your faith that this was a good doctor helped you get cured, and I will get cured. Only that will cure you. Similarly, this is a student of Lalgudi Jayaraman sir who has that faith, and he has given all of that to all his students. So beautifully he has been sharing this, and such an amazing list. How to prepare a concert list, how to make it engaging for all kinds of rasikas, brilliance of how to position each composition, the ragam contrasts that you bring in, the talam varieties, and then various composers, the masterpieces. With a concert has to have all of this. There was a Vivadi ragam, a beautiful, the Melakarta's choices were beautiful. There was all the composers you can take. You also had all of those. There was a Ghanaragam. And then those of you who are living in this country and learning both systems, there's a minor scale which is also included in the Pallavi. All kinds of varieties and such beautiful list which was so enriching and engaging. And the other thing that is very special about the style is the vocal bani in the violin playing. How to highlight the sahityam. And at various places, what I noticed was the subtlety in the bowing itself. You cannot play everything in the same tone. The dynamics, because you might have instrumental control, the virtuosity will be there, but the dynamic control of how to bring in the sahityam beauty and highlight it, beautifully done, very beautifully coached. To make a school student do this is remarkable. So that is where his expertise as a guru came into the forefront. About Dhruv himself, he has very, very sincerely committed himself to this program. He didn't look at any one of us. I was sitting there in the front trying to distract him with all my talam. Not even once he saw me. That was his sincerity and his commitment. Once you are doing this, Arjun and Kusanapo, Arudan Sulra, what you should see na, and the target only the background. You might get distracted with all the background things and everything. His sincerity today was whatever he was playing, he was only focused on that. That is very, very special. Not even his brother's tala. He didn't watch even that. That was wonderful. The other thing is he was enjoying himself. Every composition that you chose, you expressed it very beautifully. I'm sure that the one thing that I will tell you is, an Arangetram is, a lot of people ask, should we really spend so much, do the Arangetram? Why should we do it? Should Arangetram happen? I'll tell you one thing. You graduate in this. You are learning in intangibles for years together, and it should continue, it will continue. But you are given a tangible goal. Suddenly you learn what all you didn't know about this art form. You become a beautiful Rasika of the art form first. Once you become a beautiful Rasika, then you become a great student. You will understand what is the keenness in which you should learn something. Till then you are learning something, but we never want to perfect it to the level of excellence. Here you are put a target and you are given an opportunity to become more perfect at something. So every song you have to work meticulously to get the perfection. Then the Manodharmam comes in. Now this is a completely, nobody can set a boundary to that. What is the boundary? Even the gurus cannot set. Because these are ragams where composers have found it so hard. We thought Tyagaraja composed so many songs. Dikshitar will give you some other vista. Another composer comes, they give you another new vista. And then today we have so many other new composers who have come in who are giving us more and more dimensions. Same raga, brilliant musicians have rendered it so beautifully. So it is something that you cannot even evaluate and estimate. All of this, a student suddenly understands, and then he listens more, and they start becoming serious Carnatic students first, and then whatever you practice, hours and hours you practice, you have only 2 hours. You have to showcase all of that. And you have to showcase as though you are a full-fledged performer, performing this for years together. And that will chisel you into a fine, beautiful musician. So this is a very beautiful thing, and அரங்கேற்றம்னு நல்லா வச்சிருக்கா. அதுலேருந்து வாழ்க்கையில் நல்ல ஏற்றம் தான் கிடைக்கணும் சங்கீதத்தில். So I wish him all success in his journey, and have a very small token of my appreciation. நான் வந்த purpose வந்து என்னன்னா, my love, again, I am also a Carnatic addict, so I would admit that. And this family is very close to me, and the Guru's family are also very close to me. His vocal guru, Srimati Rajarajeshwari Bhatt, is again a taskmaster, a perfectionist. She also works relentlessly. So he is blessed having these gurus. A small certificate of merit on behalf of Karnataka, with a small organization that I run. It will be useful for what? For college admissions. So we have to do it, and deservingly so. So this certificate is proudly presented to Dhruv Vadhiraj on his inaugural concert under the able guidance of Vidwan Vittal Ramurthy at Austin Hindu Temple. The address signed by myself. Thank you. And I'm taking a bit more time because I'm overwhelmed. The other thing that I would like to say is he played the Pallavi with a lot of competence. The Kalpana Swarams, when he rendered, first he rendered a lot of the Puruthams also. Then Nalla Gamakama Araga Enala Generala Ur Kalpana Swarathukku thevayo adella. Then he showed the instrumental virtuosity, which is also equally important. So he showed the scope of what all violin as an instrument can bring out. Very beautifully done. About the blessing that he had on stage with the presence of someone like Vidwan Shankar Narayanan, who comes from a very, very great parampara. அவர் அப்படியே பாட்டுக்கு அனுசரணையாக வாசிச்சார். அப்படியே ரொம்ப அழகாக போஷிச்சு எங்கே அவரும் டைனமிக்ஸ், த பியூட்டிஃபுல் டைனமிக்ஸ் தட் யூ ஆர் ஷோயிங் வாஸ் ரிமார்க்கபிள். அண்ட் ஸோ லுக்கிங் இன் டு தி ஆர்டிஸ்ட் கண்டினியூஸ்லி, லுக்கிங் அட் தேர் டெம்பரமெண்ட், it was not like he was playing for an Arangetram. He really challenged him quite well and kept him on his toes. and at the same time enriched the concert so brilliantly. The robotics man showed that he is just not meant for only robotics. Because very soon he might find out a robot to play Ghatam, or his students might do it. But what a beautiful support he played on the Ghatam. The tone itself was so nice, and he, for every stroke of whatever Shankar Narayanan and Dhruv did, he matched. Again, பாட்டு ஞானம் அவளுக்கு இருந்ததுன்னா ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கும். ஸோ அது இருந்ததுனால ரெண்டு பேரும் ரொம்ப பிரில்லியண்டாக வாசிச்சா. ஸோ வெரி பியூட்டிஃபுல். தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் அகெயின். Finally, they played together. I also wanted them to, I was thinking that they should do duo. I wanted to suggest that sometime, and now I'll suggest it. In December, in Karnataka, they'll play duo. Thank you so much. எம்சியை ரொம்ப 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 அப்படியே அவளும் வந்து அந்த ஒரு எமோஷனலி அழகாக எக்ஸ்பிரஸ் பண்ணி ரொம்ப பிரில்லியண்டாக ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணான்.
Thank you, sir. Sir, Sashikaran, sir. No, sir. Yes, சொல்லுங்க. உங்க வாயாலே சொல்லுங்க, sir.
இங்கே கற்றுக்கிற எல்லா ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸுக்கும் ஒன்று தான் சொல்லுவேன், தம்பூரா போடுறதுக்கு கற்றுக்கோங்க. ஏன்னா முதல்ல உங்கள் பாட்டுக்கே தம்பூரா ஸ்ருதி சேர்த்து பாடுறதுக்கு தேவை. அதில் வந்து அத்வைத், இஸ் இட் அத்வைத்? அவ்யுக்த். He is learning from Srimati Rajarajeshwari Bhatt, and it's wonderful that he played the tambura. It's a very difficult instrument to play. Only if you do go there, you will know it. But make all your children do it. Thank you.
Sir, ஒரு செகண்ட் இருங்கோ. Artist felicitation, we would like you to do it. First, Shankar Narayan, sir. நீங்க மேடைக்கு Yes. Yes. Thank you, sir. Next, Vidwan, Dr. Ravi. And of course, our tambura accompanist, Avyut. And the reason behind this entire concert, the brain behind this, I will say, as parents, we do our duty. But it is a Guru-Sishya link is what we saw today. I would like to call on stage Vittal sir, if you could speak a few words.
Namaskaram to all of you. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Very proud of Dhruv, and of course with the Srini. Let's give a big hand. I don't want to talk much about their performance today because Ravikiran sir, Nagarajan Mama, Venkatachala Mama, they all spoke about the concert, and the concert itself spoke how it was. I can say that I am also equally blessed to have students like them, where I can do something, I can create something, and I can see that it can be how it sounds while sitting on the audience side. So wonderful, wonderful students in all aspects. Not only the dedication, hard work and sincerity, with the respect they have with their gurus, the affection, the love they have with their gurus. Those are all impeccable, and I think they are the role models for all the good Carnatic students. More than telling about them, as Ravikiran sir, Shashikaran sir mentioned, it is the parents who brought up like that. அதாவது ஒரு பேரண்டால் குழந்தைகளை என்ன லெவலுக்கு கொண்டு போக முடியும்னு பார்க்குறதுக்கு ஐ திங்க் தே ஆர் த ரைட் எக்ஸாம்பிள். இவங்களுக்கு மட்டும் இல்லை, they are throwing the wisdom with all the other children also. You have to do this, you have to do this, நீங்கள் அங்கே கற்றுக்கணும், இங்கே பண்ணணும் இதுன்னு. They learn 7 or 8 instruments, mastered everything. They can give, he is giving a concert in piano next month, and next year maybe his guru, flute guru is wanting him to give a concert. So they are excelling in everything because they have charted the whole time. The parents have made them to work all the time instead of wasting the time in so many other things. So that is the, நீங்கள் ரெண்டு பேர்கிட்ட நாங்களே கற்றுக்கணும் எப்படி குழந்தைகளை வளர்க்கணும்னு ரொம்ப. So whoever has the children of this age, definitely we have to do the Gurukula Vasam with them. How? What is the secret in that? என்ன அழகாக இன்றைக்கி வாசித்தாங்க எல்லாம். மெயினாக நம்ம சங்கரன் சார் அண்ட் ரவி சார். நான் எப்பவும் சொல்லுவேன், when they play for the Arangetram, they should be like our family members. They should not be like a stalwart sitting there and playing for the concert. அவங்க நம்மளோட ஒரு அங்கிள் மாதிரியா ஒரு சித்தப்பா மாதிரியா அங்கே உட்காந்து வாசித்தா தான் அது நல்லாயிருக்கும். அதை நான் எப்போவுமே இந்த ரெண்டு பேர்கிட்டையும் பார்க்குறேன். சங்கரான் சார் உட்காந்து அண்ட் அந்த கோர்வை அவர் சொல்லிக் கொடுத்தது, அந்த பல்லவிக்கு வாசித்தது ரொம்ப அழகாக இருந்தது. அது ரவி நீங்கள் வந்து நடத்தி கொடுத்ததுக்கு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம். அவ்யுக்த், you also, okay, did a wonderful job, and he was putting tambura and playing putting thalam also, playing tambura and putting thalam, very good. Vadhirajanna and Ashwini nikluverla onju role model ஏத்த ஆசிட் மாத்தாரு. அண்ட் எவ்ரி பிளானிங்கு ஒரு சிம்பிளாக ஒரு அரங்கேற்றம். ஆனால் என்ன அழகு அதில் எல்லாத்துலேயுமே. இந்த அரங்கேற்றத்துக்கு எனக்கு நிறைய பேர் ஹெல்ப் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. அஃப்கோர்ஸ் என்னோடய ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸை சொல்லணும், சாரதா கிருஷ்ணன், அப்புறம் வந்து என்னோடய சன் ஸ்ரீஹரி, அவங்கெல்லாம் ஹெல்ப் பண்ணியிருக்காங்கன்னு. எப்படின்னா ஐ டீச் ஆல் ஆஃப் தெம் டுகெதர், ஸோ தே வில் ப்ராக்டிஸ். ஸோ மை burden of making them practice individually will be less. So I teach in a group and they all pitch in and practice, and I will just check the final product, that's it. So thanks to all of you. இன்னைக்கு ஸ்பெஷல் என்னன்னா விட்டல் ரங்கன் வந்திருக்காரு, ஒன் ஆஃப் த ஸ்டார் பர்ஃபார்மர்ஸ் த யங்கர் ஜென்ரேஷனில். வெரி ஹாப்பி தட் யூ ஆர் ஹியர். அண்ட் ஹீ இஸ் ஆல்சோ a great teacher. He is teaching wonderful students, and some of them are playing really well. And Kriti is here, though she is my niece, proud niece. She is also making mark in the Carnatic field. Rajeshwari, Kirtana, and சசிகிரண் சார், நீங்கள் வந்தது எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம். சசிகிரண் சார் எப்படின்னா, அவரை பற்றி பயோ படித்ததெல்லாம் இருக்குது, ரொம்ப கிரேட் மியூசிஷியன். அது தவிர he helps all the young musicians and even the needed musicians in his own ways. எல்லாத்துலேயுமே எப்படின்னா, ஒரு பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் வேணுமா அதை கொடுக்குறாரு. யூஎஸ்லேயும் சரி, இந்தியாலேயும் சரி. ஒரு ஏஜ்டு மியூசிஷியன்ஸுக்கு ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி வேணுமா அதை பண்ணுறாரு. ஒரு சீனியர் மியூசிஷியன்ஸுக்கு ஏதாவது ஒரு அவார்டு அந்த மாதிரி தகுந்தது வரல அந்த டைமுக்குன்னா அதை ஏற்பாடு பண்ணுறாரு. அவர் என்னெல்லாம் பண்ணுறாருன்னு நமக்கே தெரியாது, அவருக்கும் தெரியுமான்னு தெரியாது. அந்த அளவுக்கு ஹீ இஸ் டூயிங் so much to Carnatic music. I think நீங்கள் ஒருத்தரேன்னு சொல்லலாம், நிறைய பேர் இருக்கலாம், பட் எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு உங்கள் மாதிரி ஒரு கர்நாடிக் மியூசிக் பண்ணுறவங்களே நான் பார்த்ததில்லை. ஸோ ஆன் பிஹாஃப் ஆஃப் த ஹோல் கர்நாடிக் ஃப்ரெட்டர்னிட்டி, ஐ ரியலி வாண்ட் டு சல்யூட் யூ ஃபார் ஆல் யுவர் கிரேட் ஒர்க். அண்டு நாகராஜன் மாமா, ஜானகி மாம் எங்களுக்கு வந்து 35 years ago ஃபஸ்ட்டு ஒரு உங்கள் ஆர்கனைசேஷன் ஆரம்பிக்கும் போது நான் வந்து பாம்பே ஜெயஷோட வந்து வாசிது. அன்னிலேருந்து இன்னி வரைக்கும் சேம் எஃபெக்ஷன் அண்ட் லவ் அண்ட் உங்கள் ஆசீர்வாதம் எப்போ இருக்கணும். வெங்கடாச்சலம் மாமா பார்த்தா எனக்கு குரு சார் தான் ஞாபகம் வருது. நான் சார் வீட்டில் அவரை நிறைய பார்த்துருக்கேன், டிஸ்கஷன் பண்ணிட்டு அவர் இருக்கிறது. அதனால அவரை பார்த்தா சொல்லுவேன் நான், எனக்கு உங்களை பார்த்தோன்னே ஒரு லால்குடி சார் பார்த்த மாதிரி ஒரு அந்த இது வரும். உங்களுக்கும் என்னோட நமஸ்காரம் இன்னைக்கு வந்ததுக்கு. என்ன ஒரு ஆடியன்ஸு, ஐ திங்க் இங்கே நிறைய நல்ல மியூசிக் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் இருக்காங்க. அவங்க எல்லாம் இருக்கிறதுனால ஆஸ்டினில் வந்து ஒரு நல்ல தகுந்த ஆடியன்ஸ். இவ்வளோ நேரம் கச்சேரி ஆனோடனே யூஸ்வலாக இங்கே கொஞ்சம் தூரத்தில் வச்சுருக்காங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன், இல்லைன்னா அந்த இங்கே அந்த அரோமா வந்தோடனே யாருமே இங்கே இருக்க மாட்டாங்க யூஸ்வலாக. ஆனால் இங்கே நீங்கள் எல்லோரும் உட்காந்து கடைசி வரைக்கும் எல்லோரும் பேசுகிறத கேட்டுட்டு போனால் உங்கள் எல்லாருக்கும் நீங்கள் தான் இனிமேல் அவங்கள சப்போர்ட் பண்ணணும், நிறைய கச்சேரி ஏற்பாடு பண்ணணும். இன்னும் அந்தர்நாதா இருக்குது, தேர் இஸ் ஸோ மெனி ஆர்கனைசேஷன்ஸ். யூ ஹேவ் டு என்கரேஜ் ஆல் திஸ் லோக்கல் டேலண்ட்ஸ். சசிகரன் சார் எல்லாம் இந்தியாலையும் பண்ணுறாங்க. நானும் ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு டெம்பிளில் பண்ணுவோம், அங்கேயும் டெஃபினட்டாக தே ஆர் ஆல் பிளேயிங். அண்ட் ஹூஎவர் விஷ் டு பர்ஃபார்ம், யூ கேன் ஆல்சோ கம் அண்ட் play there. And one of the stars of Austin, and I can say that US, and of course now in the Carnatic field, Vishal Sapram is here. I don't know where he is. And inga irkinga. Proud of Austin avaru. So நீங்க எல்லாம் வந்து நடத்தி கொடுத்ததுக்கு இன்னொரு தடவை என்னோட மனமார்ந்த நன்றி. Your love, best wishes and affection should always be there with all of us. Thanks again for both of you. Thank you. ஒன்று சொல்ல மறந்துட்டேன். அதாவது இந்த மாதிரி குழந்தைகளை பார்த்தோன்னு எனக்கு என்ன தோன்றதுன்னா, I want to sit in the audience side and I want to see them in all the great places all over the world, wherever I have not accompanied or staged. அந்த இடத்துலலாம் கூட அவங்க வந்து உட்காந்து வாசிக்கணுங்கிற ஒரு ஆசை வருது. ஐ ஹோப் யூ வில் மேக் மை ட்ரீம் கம் ட்ரூ. ஓகே.
So before I hand it over to the parents, just on behalf of the Vadhiraj family, a heartfelt thanks first to the Austin Hindu Temple for this beautiful auditorium. Hemant, a big shout out to you. The audio system was absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. You're always there for us. A very big backbone. Thank you so much. And also for the decor that you all see today, it was done by Magical Decors, Indupriya. If you are here, beautiful one. And now, time to give it to the parents. Instructions after the parents' speech. We would love to take a lot of pictures with you all. So please come this side. Take pictures with our Vidwans over here and then exit that side for dinner. You have people having dinner ready there. So from here, exit there for dinner. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful evening. Handing over to the Vadhiraj family.
Namaskaram to all. Thank you very much for staying for this long, for attending this program. I think Dhruv nailed it this today. He has worked exceptionally well throughout the summer. I remember him practicing for at least a couple of hours every day for the past 3 months. And I think he was able to pull it off thanks to Vittal sir. So the camp that was held a couple of weeks ago, it was an immersion program where Dhruv had to sit with and learn and practice with around 40 students. So we didn't know what was going on. We were told that he would wake up at 5 a.m. and practice, and people thought that he was crazy because he would just practice a few notes again and again. But I think it was mainly to get the pitch perfection, thanks to the advice that he got from Sri Hari and Kalashri. So we are immensely thankful to Vittal sir and his family for blessing Dhruv, for teaching Dhruv and Srinivas, and for bringing them up to this point. And music has no end, so that's my firm belief. It is just a start, and they have to continue and work with interest, passion, to first of all enjoy and provide enjoyment to others. Secondly, I would like to thank all the great stalwarts here. So I'm sure I'll spend a long time naming each of you, but I don't want to do that. So there are so many dignitaries from the Carnatic world, our well-wishers, our friends, family members, etc. So thank you, all of you, for coming here and for encouraging Dhruv, for helping us out. It's an arduous task to run this show of this magnitude. I think without our friends' support, we wouldn't have been able to host this. And finally, thanks to the accompanists who have become friends to us. So last year also on the same day, on August 3rd, we had Srinivas's Arangetram. Again, Shashikaran sir was the chief guest. And the accompanist were Sankaranarayanan sir and Ravi sir. So because of that camaraderie, they were able to nurture Dhruv, and Dhruv spent a few days with them. And I think that transformed his playing, and he became supremely confident. I didn't ask him after that, because I remember asking him maybe last week how his camp had gone. And he was tentative even then, because he was nervous probably. But I think, when I met him yesterday, after a few days of his stay in Dallas, he was supremely confident. And at that point, I knew that at least, even if mistakes are inevitable, but what I wanted as a parent from Dhruv is to be happy, because he is a good accordionist as well. And I remember hosting an accordion recital where I think he played very well, but he was quite sad because his expectation level is very high. And he became a sorry figure after that event. But today I think he'll sleep well. So I think I'm happy as a parent to see that. And thank you very much for all your support. And I wish all the children also that are here to continue practicing. And, so attending Arangetrams has become an enjoyable experience for us every summer. And we look forward to attending a few more Arangetrams in the coming weeks. Thank you.
I'm really honored to be speaking today, and to be honest, this moment means a lot, because I get to talk about someone who's not just my brother, but also my favorite person to learn with, argue with, and more often than not, try to keep up with. And if you know him, you'll know he's incredibly kind, quietly thoughtful, and never want to draw attention to himself. In particular, one thing that sticks out to me is our car rides anywhere, which are just pretty much practice sessions. We're either solving algorithmic problems, trying to make Puruttam or Korve Swarams, or doing Talam exercises while trying to throw each other off. And that's been one of the most meaningful parts of our relationship, that we've been learning and figuring things out side by side across music, math, and everything in between. Whether it's Carnatic music or piano, Swarams or code, Dhruv brings the same thoughtful, innovative approach, and watching him perform today, you could see all of that, the clarity, the control, and mainly the curiosity coming together. All said and done, congratulations, Dhruv, on your Arangetram, and we couldn't be any prouder. Thank you. Thank you all for coming to my Arangetram. It means a lot to see so many people come to support me. I hope you all enjoyed it. And this Arangetram has been like a dream come true. But it wouldn't have been possible without the sacrifices, encouragement, and love from my parents, teachers, friends, and families. The biggest reason I'm here today is because of my guru and guide, Vittal sir. He's been more... He's been far more than just a violin teacher to me, and no matter how busy or far away he was, he would always come to class with a smile. His discipline, dedication, and love for music has shaped
the way I approach violin. More importantly, he has taught me how to approach this art form with humility, respect, and responsibility. I've learned from his example that being a musician isn't just about playing notes. It's about carrying forward a tradition with sincerity. Thank you, Vittal sir, for everything.
The parents have given them a wonderful gift, both the brothers, the music. Whenever they are together, they are thinking of music, whether it may be Western classical or they are excelling in studies and doing excellent thing. இதுக்கு மேல என்ன வேணும் சார் உங்களுக்கு? The greatest blessings, you got it.
Thank you so much, Vittal sir. I also want to thank my other.
Just for fun sake, I am saying, one week we were in Dallas, and they were practicing morning till evening. They were practicing, talking about music. All Srihari was also there. We were all, and we had every sort of the American food, like his kava, chipotle, Slotsky's, and even Taco Bell, and what else, man? Some other, of course, with the Indian food. Every day we were going out and eating and practicing. So we had all the fun in this 1 week.
Yeah, but good. Thank you, Vittal sir, again. But okay. I also want to thank my other teachers for laying the foundation that led me here. A special thank you to Sashikaran sir for being here and supporting me through my entire performance. So yeah. To my amazing accompanists, R. Sakranarayanan sir and Ravi sir, thank you so much for your brilliant playing and for supporting me today. Even in the practices, you guys would always encourage and support me, even if I messed up. Would always tell me to play it again. And thank you so much. It was a privilege to perform with you both. Also, I would like to thank Avyakt for playing Danpa and supporting me on stage. Next, I would like to thank Srirana and Shardaka. I can't thank you enough for all the guidance and support you gave me through this journey. You were there every step of the way, and your encouragement meant so much. Shardaka, thank you for your kind and steady approach throughout. And Vijay Shrika, thank you. I'm also very grateful for your help and presence. To my brother Srinivas, thank you for keeping Thalam through my entire performance and always being there with your love, humor, and honest feedback. Lastly, to my parents, thank you for everything. You have nurtured my love for music in every form, and I couldn't have done this without you. Next, to my family, friends, and well-wishers, thank you all for being here today. Your presence and support meant so much and gave me the strength to give it my all. And thank you, Rupaji, for being such an amazing MC today. Finally, I want to sincerely apologize for all the mistakes during my performance, and I'm deeply grateful for all the encouragement you've all shown me today. And I hope to continue learning, growing, and dedicating myself to the violin and Carnatic music for many years to come. Thank you all so much.
Okay, now we are ready for dinner, picture time, and then dinner. Thank you all so much.